High Plains Technology says it's time for school.
Katie Shirley is in the studio, so you know what time it is. It's time for school. Of course, talking about High Plains Technology Center. Good morning.
Good morning, Brett. I'm excited to have my guest with me today, Yasmin Reyes. And as I introduced her to Brett, he said, I've heard a lot about you. So we know you all have heard a lot about Yasmin, so she's here with us today.
Good morning.
So Yasmin had a really busy week. Let's see, was that last week? Yes, at the State SkillsUSA competition and contest conference in her role as the State SkillsUSA president. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to start out talking about TAP. So TAP is the Technical Applications Program that began, I believe, 5 years ago, and you were in that very first class that we had with TAP. So take us back to that time and your initial thoughts and the direction that TAP has put you on.
All right. The funny thing is that at the time you were supposed to have, we were given papers to sign so we could join the class. I didn't sign it. And so they just put me in the class and I was like, oh, wait. I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be in here, but I'll just try it out.
That is hilarious.
So when that happened, on the paper, it said, oh, we're going to build robots. We're going to do everything. I was just like, I don't really want to build robots per se, but well, let's just try it out. And
yeah.
And then just staying that whole entire time in 8th grade, it was amazing.
Yeah. And then you ended up enjoying learning all the different things that you got to.
I really loved doing everything because we had maybe two-week period, maybe 3-week
about
period.
12 days in each field of study.
Yeah. And when we were doing that, I can't remember what our first one was, but I just remember getting to the really hard ones like construction and welding.
Those and enjoying the challenge of those.
Yes.
What do you think is the best thing about TAP for anyone that is in the program?
Well, coming from me, I feel like the best thing is that you get to learn all the trades that are offered at our career tech, and you just have an idea of what you want to do. And instead of just staying in a classroom all day, just learning, your core classes, and then just kind of getting scared of the future, oh, what am I even going to do with this?
Yeah. So the hands-on part, and then the exploration of all the different fields of study. So whenever you were ready to go into come up to the career tech, did it help make your decision, or were you still kind of torn between, was it welding and construction?
I was torn between welding, construction, and multimedia.
Yes. So that is such a good problem, too many good choices. And so having a little idea where before some students that aren't able to do TAP really don't know until they get into the program. And thankfully they do. I know switch students around if they discover that's not the correct, right fit for them. But man, that's just really helpful to have a really good idea what you're getting into.
Yes, it is.
So you've been in construction now these 2 years, junior and senior year. And have you enjoyed that program?
I have. I love it a lot.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one. Hands down. I just love my instructor because I don't feel like an idiot when I'm in there. I always ask for help when I need it, and I'm very stubborn, so I try to do things on my own. Yeah. And then I figure out that, oh, I really can't do most of this on my own. I need help, and he's a good sport about it, and I get pointed in the right direction with my work. So I like that.
It seems like a really good morale in there, and the teamwork and the just vibe overall with the students is really good in that program.
It is, yes.
And then Mr. Carlson, when it came to SkillsUSA, tell us how that went on even thinking about interviewing for an officer.
So at the time, there was 2 other people. It was Kellen and Devin, I believe, that were going to go. And when he was talking to me about SkillsUSA, I was just like, what is that?
Yeah.
I had no idea about it, whatsoever. And he just explained it to me. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it out. Let's see how far I get. And every time we did the trials, I filled out the paperwork and I did the little career online stuff. I did that. I was like, all right, that's cool. I got this done. let's see how far I go. The interview process with like our faculty, I was just like, if I don't get it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, congrats, you're moving on to the next stage. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just me saying, oh, if I don't get it, I don't get it. And then
Right.
it's just like, congratulations, you got
Kept
it.
happening.
Yeah, it just kept happening. And I just always get surprised because I never got my hopes up. I was just like, oh, if I don't get it, I don't get it. It's just the experience is there.
Yeah. And then you end up finding out. So whenever you're interviewing, they just place which position they think you'd be good in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you ended up, they placed you as president.
Yes.
And what'd you think about that?
I was what was going through my mind was like, oh, hopefully I get secretary because that's my class office.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, after a really hard 5-minute decision, we've decided everybody's titles. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm definitely going to get secretary. And then they said, Yasmin, you're the president. I was like, oh, wow.
That's awesome. And so SkillsUSA has 15,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
And at the conference last week, there was, you think, maybe 3,000, 4,000 in attendance?
Maybe 4,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, a little
maybe.
more.
Yeah, a little
and
more.
so you spoke and gave like the intro and welcoming before the national anthem and the flags and all
Yes.
that. And you did a great job. We got to watch it live. And so now tell us what you're going to do now.
Well, I'm going to finish out my program, and then I have like a month of break for summer, and then I'm going into the wind technician program in July.
And that is a tough program to get into. You had to interview with Jack Day.
Yes.
And I love his interview. He really asked some great integrity and character questions to really make sure to get the right fit. So you were chosen one of the 18 new students coming in July. So I love that we've had you from TAP through the constructions program and now in wind. And then also you were telling me tell us about your sister's experience also at Career Tech.
Okay, so I don't really remember much of my oldest sister, but I believe she went for a year, and I think she had to get taken out. Yeah, most likely in health. My oldest sister, Yvette, I'm pretty sure she was in there. But I know that my second oldest sister, Yvonne, she was in like the health career stuff because she was thinking about becoming a nurse. But then obviously that her like ideas changed.
Yeah, that's what's so neat in health. There is so much awareness and so many certifications. So you can figure out quick, like, do I want to be a vet tech? Do I want phlebotomy? No, I don't like needles as much. I'm going to go into this dental hygiene, so there's so many different options that you can cheaply figure out rather than going on to college and spending years
and
in
then,
something.
Oh, I'm going to change my major to this.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. I'll do it this. Yeah.
Okay, and then what was it? I loved what your mom shared about when you were in TAP. What was it she said?
She said that she wished she had types of programs like that when she was younger because she still has no idea what she wants to do, even though she's older now. And like she has kids that are graduated. I'm going to graduate soon. And she always tells me, I don't know what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's awesome. I bet she is thrilled that her children have been able to have this opportunity and you're taking full advantage of it. So I love that when a student comes to Career Tech and they just take every opportunity for leadership, growth, challenges, and just take what's offered to them. What is one thing you would tell someone that is considering kind of on the fence maybe about attending High Plains? What is one word of encouragement you would have to say to someone?
I would say if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Because if you're just sitting on the fence going back and forth, you're just going to like talk yourself out of like a good opportunity of learning a career that you would actually come to love.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd want to share with the listeners about your time at High Plains or just Mrs. Goss, Mr. Carlson?
I like to thank them for giving me every opportunity into becoming a better person and just, giving me opportunities to have like a good job in the future. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Yasmin, for being my guest today. And thank you all for listening. I'll be back here next week on 100.1.